Hello, everybody. This is Living with the Darkness. It is a cross venue plot with the Charles Agar from the Changeling venue. Today we have a scene where in the uh, restaurant called Nusret, our scene will begin with Charles entering this restaurant. Please explain me what he was wearing and all that jazz.
Hmm. Charles is at least trying to keep things, well, not overly threatening, not trying to put anything overt displays of um putting I mean, he wants to put the good foot forward, but he doesn't want to be anything overwhelming or anything like that, especially with his most recent encounters with his friend from the other side. It's come to be a bit more of a not over anything that would be seemed as overly threatening, or at least putting yourself a little too forward out there. So for the most part, he is at least maintaining a, for lack of a better term, at least still a business sort of suit. I mean, he looks very much as he looks in the picture right here. His blue eyes, well trimmed, nice suit, tie, as he's getting into his reservations. So very business apparel for the most part. But he's taking his look around for he's not sure. Well, I mean, out of character. Assuming there was a reservation for
Exactly,
this.
exactly.
Okay. Uh,
You move towards, like if you're moving towards a reserved table.
mhm,
Before when you look around, you see this guy
mhm.
slapping stupid meats. A lot of people taking his photo. He's doing this like his move,
Yeah,
and then like a lot of people are like exactly
yeah.
like a lot of people like taking his photo, and there is this guy who looks at you and he gets up.
Mhm. Ah, Mr. Monday, I presume.
Mr. Agar, it is pleasure to meet with you.
Pleasure to meet you as well, he says, and I'm assuming they shake hands at this
Yeah,
point.
exactly. He
Yeah, yeah.
extends a hand.
Yep. Charles takes it, and it's not a limp hand, but it's definitely not like he's not trying to crush his hand back or anything like that. If that makes sense, it's a solid
Yeah,
handshake.
he has like strength three, like
Yeah.
not a lot, not like crazy strong.
Yep. At least right now he has strength three.
Exactly. In the beginning, it's gonna be seven when he's screaming. He he there's a guy who comes in and he asks for what do you want to eat
Mm.
immediately,
Well,
and
that was fast. I haven't looked at the
and like
menu.
and like this guy is looking at the Nusret who is taking a lot of photos and shit.
Mhm.
The I want to thank you for coming here representing your side. It's very good that our people is meeting again.
It is very good. I will be honest. I won't say completely ignorant of your people's existence, but it's good to know that we are wanting to build bridges again from our past relationships.
The There were very I don't know if you would know regarding the past, but there were times where two sides joined each other in many problems.
Hmm.
So um, we try to we wish to keep a good relationship and continue keeping that good relationship that was there in the past.
Hmm.
Um, there were a time our people actually aided your people. It was actually 5 years ago. Very
Hmm.
old. It's very old. It's not about like we aided you, please help us now, that kind of deal. We the talks that I believe our leaders had was very. They believed that this threat was for both groups. Now, um, from the old rumors, and I am really sorry for entering the business, but I don't like. I'm very bad at chit chat.
No, no, it's fine. It's honestly sometimes refreshing for people who just get to the point.
He smiles and says, "Now, as far as we know, there are good and bad in every side, and we our bad side, our problems, has been very active.
Hmm.
Now, as he has a paper on his, under that he's like he actually pulls the paper and like he is
Hmm.
reading the paper and he says like, it seems we have been. His face kind of like gets weird, like he's
Hmm.
about to smile for some weird reason, and he
Yeah.
says like 50 infantry. As he like looks at Charles like, what the fuck does this mean?
Charles is just like Charles has this like 1,000-yard stare. It's like because he's thinking to himself. He's thinking to himself. It's like I know they said you wanted me to negotiate, and they don't want me on the front lines, but god damn it.
It's like,
Fin- so
which motherfucker said 50 infantry?
is that doesn't seem like a term that you're used to throwing around?
It's very not. As he is like he looked at that paper like this. It's really not.
That's really not. Well, what would you prefer to call them then?
No, we are okay with calling whatever they are. So I heard the term the red branch.
Mm,
They're cold, and we were told that they are extremely capable. But then we were also told that there might be people who are willing to help
mm,
um, regarding this problem of us, as it's seen as the problem that can hurt both sides. Now, I actually want to ask what kind of helps we can gain and what kind of things we can uh, help you with. Like, there are things that both sides are capable of, they're
mm.
known with, and I am sure that we can come to an agreement for, like, that this 50 guy, as far as I know, is going to be offered for courtesy.
Mm.
But, like, our situation can be very, we are not sure if, you know, um, we may need more help or not. So we want to be safe than sorry.
Exactly. An infantry, as it were, he says with a smile, is good and all. Having an armed force of such a size is actually quite commendable. But sometimes there's room for need for specialists or those that have particular skill sets that you won't find in the conventional soldiers.
Um, yes, that's
Mm.
quite my point. Yes, yes,
Mm.
yes. He smiles.
There are a number of individuals. I'm certain that if I were to give a poll out to, or at least have at least the promise of at least a better understanding of relationship, that I could probably sway them to the importance of this matter. But maybe it would be more important to press the need for this matter to them, because if I go to them and say, hey, these individuals, our brothers and sisters from the other side, are wanting our help with something that could be dangerous, they might want a little bit of details on to what that matter might be or
Okay.
what that might entail.
So I have been told, and I did not see this for myself.
Mm,
There is he like the place you kind of understand that like this is a place where you can talk freely. Like
mm.
you can't just be like Garu, Krinos, YOLO,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like you can talk like like it's a talk like you talk about science, let's just say.
yeah. No, I hear you.
And he says like other dimensions. I know that there is a dimension that your people has been calling,
Mm,
and it's what I'm trying to say is that we have our own dimension,
mm,
which now um, this dimension is able to affect. the world. I don't know if it's the same for your dimension, at least. Now, he kind of looks like because he was about to say something and he stopped.
Yeah,
He stopped.
yeah. Charles just nods at that. he doesn't
Mhm.
he doesn't like say yes for certain, but he just nods. It could be
Mhm.
interpreted in any way based on how he nods. Like yes, it does
Mhm.
affect it, or yes, I understand. Please continue. It's just a nod.
Now, the army that is going to come here may affect the world in a very bad shape. It
Mm,
may cause strange behaviors, and it may make like I am sure you saw the problem in the Brooklyn and Staten Island.
mm. The are we
The
talking about the recent Zeppelin accident?
Yes, that's sadly it's very crazy. I don't know what happened. It wasn't us. That's all I can say.
Mm.
He was like that wasn't us.
Yeah, and Charles is like shaking. It's just like it's a tragedy. We lost a lot of people in that one.
He nods. And was it? I didn't knew it was your people who had a problem with that.
We didn't. We it wasn't us. It was just simply they were caught in the fire.
It's very sad. I wish there was something we can do for that, but
As of
sadly, it's
right
too late.
now, matters are being handled at least on our end when it comes to that. But you can't bring back the dead.
Yes, it's a sad thing that happened.
Mm.
Now, what? Oops, I'm back. What
Okay.
we can ask for is again, just like you said, there are many things to a defense, as there will be a defense for this. And the we may need counterintelligence. We may need. It's up to the creativity of the individual, in my opinion.
Mm,
I am, for example, trying to create a um, a place where we can make it easier defense, for example.
mm,
Now, I don't know what do you need to know, so please ask questions and then I can answer more correctly.
mm. So you said there's an army coming, and one that could affect. I mean, obviously, it will. You say it will affect us. Um, I know it's a bit hard to ask the nature of the force coming in, especially if you're, as you said, you may not know yourself entirely.
Mhm.
Um, but do we have an idea of the size or how their modus operandi might be?
500 from the counts.
Mm,
But the problem is, not every one of the, let's just say that the army is not based on one person. Like let's just say, let me give you the example of stormtroopers, as he like says with a smile.
yeah.
Not all of them are stormtroopers.
Mm.
There are stormtroopers, there are elites, there are normals.
And I'm assuming they're not going to berserker frenzy into in mass into the world. Rather, it might be something a little more subversive.
I don't think that will come to the world, but the problem is I don't want to assume.
Mm,
This is it's not something I know for 50-50. Like, it's not something I know with 100%, but I don't think our enemies want to let the humans know we exist. That is very bad move. It would be a
mm,
very bad move for them as well.
mm. Okay,
Humanity
so
is. everyone's ally and everyone's biggest enemy. I know that your group also keeps um, a secret. Everybody keeps their nature secret.
Charles nods at that. So definitely a shadow war, or a war behind the scenes, as it were, or
Yes.
out of at least prying eyes. All right. There are individuals I can reach out to. I can also reach out to members of my own particular uh, house. There are those that of my kind that fall into particular political alliances, so to speak. Certain oaths that bind us together. I can reach those people of my particular house. We are their house is mostly known for being warriors and healers, and
Quite
offering
the
aid,
opposite.
and offering aid and safe spaces for those that request it.
You know,
I can reach out to them and see what I can pull from there, but you'll probably want more. I can think of a number of individuals who would be interested in at least not only proving their potentially, if spun the right way, they could have the not only the earn the favor of and the knowledge of keeping the promises of old held strong, but also gaining the recognition the within our own people as well.
now, Mr. Agar, I want to
Mm,
actually say another thing. I am quite a person that is known with capabilities in the city.
mm,
Now, I know that you actually find yourself in a bit of trouble by representing your people,
mm,
and I'm asking more than what is already offered.
mm,
In side of this, if you have problems and if you want things to be done in the city, um, something that you want to have more, we can actually work with those. Like I can. There's not a lot of things I am. Let me say this way. I can pull some strings to be done in the city. I don't know what you may ask from me, but like as a personal, for
mm.
your personal help, other than your, help of the individuals that you represent, you actually said that I can ask from my personal political friends, and that should be something that we should, be like, yeah, like you are helping us, and I scratch your back, you scratch mine. He like smiles when he says that.
I understand that, and I do appreciate that. I will still have to talk to my employer about the nature of this discussion before it comes up to that. I don't mind personal favors, but I wish to make sure that that's I get the green light, as it were,
Mhm.
uh, for such matters. And besides, I'm sure even if a particular bit of aid might still be something useful to my employer as well. Um, Something else, especially if it's further requests and maybe for fostering better understanding. I am under the impression that you have a plan to send a representative to meet with my employer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Very good. Then I think that I think there will be more discussion on that end of what other possible things might be required, especially through him, at least on a more general scale. If he's all right with certain people getting personal favors for putting their particular needs out there, I'll let you know.
If there are problems that your people needs to be solving as well, we can aid those uh, higher echelon with
Mm,
the individuals I will send um, to meet with your boss. Those can be handled as well.
mm.
Um, Other than that, um, I'm happy that we have an agreement, and I wish to ask that if you get more people, maybe I can meet with them if you wish, or I can like you can keep me informed about what kind of help they would wish to aid or give to us.
I will preface when I speak to them that they may be that if they agree to this, they will be approached by you.
Hmm.
And if they wish to continue with their aid, or they wish to keep their privacy, then obviously there will be no hard feelings one way or the other. But I will make sure that this is something that would be done should they request their aid for vetting purposes, of course.
Hmm. Um, is there any individuals who or any places that us as my side should stay away from? Like,
Hmm.
is there how do I say a line that should be drawn about like if this is something we don't want and we want this to be a problem?
Charles thinks about that because honestly, he doesn't know about any
Mhm.
places that might be a no fly zone. He's like, as far as I know, I don't think we have anything that's a no fly zone. Um, but I can ask my let me message my employer here just real fast. Lizzie pulls out his phone. Sorry for the pause. I have to type all this
No
out.
problem.
Please let me know if there are any no fly zones for our friend. He's usually rather prompt, so I expect a message back in the next few minutes. But until I get that answer, so let's see if we can't move forward with the conversation. Um, I have suspicion. Speaking in that regards, I'm certain there's spaces that would be considered that the same for you. I've heard rumor that the Central Park is one of those spaces.
Yes, it is. Yeah, as we can say, no flies on.
Mm,
It's it is not because we don't wish to share
mm,
or like we are like xenophobic.
mm,
It's because we it is for safety reasons.
mm,
I'm sure there might be places I might find myself in trouble if I just pry.
mm.
For many supernatural, like from the side of every supernatural,
No,
it is
of
one of
course.
those places. Sadly, it's sad that it's a very such a public place, but well, there's not a lot of things we can do.
Mm. Understood, understood. But I'm assuming that's not the only place that would be a no fly zone.
There are other places that might be a no-fly zone, but it's not, it's not something that I can say that
Mm,
it's not a fly zone. I know there are other places there might be a no-fly zone, or there might be places where you can find yourself in deep trouble, or anybody else.
mm,
Um, it's it depends on the individual and how they view it. I know, for example, there is a certain family of ours that is actually very close to your kind.
mm,
There are rumors that they share places, uh, marriages, families. Um, I do not know the name, but I can ask and tell you later. Um, yeah.
mm. Seems fair. Mm, mm. And he gets a buzz of text and he looks at it. He texts back. Mm, there are certain spaces that we keep, for the most part, we keep safe. There are protective measures so that even they, unless one knows how to get to them, they really can't. If there's more detailed, if there's a more detailed one of this particular area that are that my employer doesn't want you people going, I will let you know. But for the most part, it just seems to be a general. Our spaces are ours. But like I said, unless you know what to look for, you probably wouldn't find it. So.
He nods. We just wish to. We know that we're not alone in the city,
Mm.
and we wish to keep it in respect.
Of course, and I think that's a good way going forward, keeping a certain level of respect. Now,
Mhm.
obviously, going forward with here, we'll probably be meeting with more of each other's people going forward.
Mhm.
Um, are there things I should be aware of when meeting up with others of your kind?
As long as the mutual respect is kept, I don't think there will be more problems.
Hmm.
The um, the uh, the individuals I will send are very daily individuals, and they are very they are about like I am handpicking them. Let's just say it that way,
Mm.
and they will represent our how do I say this? They will represent the current need. I think it will happen in 1 week. The meeting will happen in 1 week.
Okay.
Um, and if you want, like, if I can talk with them in the future, because I may be leaving in this future,
Mm.
like at least New York for a while. Knowing two-person may be good. So what I'm trying to say is that the maybe in the future, if we can have a um, understanding of what's going on. For example, a like a if we have a problem, we can tell you like, this is our problem. We will handle it. That kind of thing that would make ruling easier for you.
Mm.
If you think that that is something that would be really nice, we can come to. I can try to accomplish a. I can try to come up with a understanding from my side that one of us will keep in touch with the other side, so they will know what's going on. For example, let's just say that there's a problem that happened from your side. Let's give an example. A Zeppelin fall to Manhattan,
As if that would
and
ever happen.
if that would ever happen, and you can say that this happened, and please don't interfere. It's our problem.
Mm.
Keep your hands to yourself, and um, that would be a good cooperation maybe.
Mm. I am for one am very open to an open line of communication, even if it just happens to be a few representatives between each other. Um, so I at the very least would advocate very much for a continued line of communication. It seems that obviously we've had moments where periods of time where we'll either reconnect or we'll and then disconnect after a certain period of time, like once the matter has been resolved. And I think that's a shame because that gives that while it's important that we should keep our affairs to ourselves, having to reestablish a communication over and over again makes it a rather makes it a rather tedious, I would say.
He nods. When he nods, the guy comes in and makes the show of presentation for the meet that arrives. Yay! You see, like the Mr. Monday takes a photo or a video, whatever. Not
Yeah.
you, not you,
Yeah.
him.
Yep.
And the guy leaves, and he takes a taste of this meat, and he's like, "This is delicious."
Mm-hmm. And Charles also takes his bit. It's just like, yes, this is something else. Wonder if I can. He's thinking to himself here because now he's just wondering. It's like, well, maybe I can. He's thinking to himself, it's like maybe I can pull out memories of Charles and see how to cook meat later on. So Charles's cooking adventures. Tune in next week. Anyway, but he's eating the meat. But he's eating his particular steak, and it's just like this is rather amazing.
I agree. Would you? Is there any other questions that you have?
Me personally, no. I don't think I have much in terms of questions as of right now. Well, maybe there's something that'll come up. He thinks for a moment. Oh, I don't think I ever told you what aid we could potentially give you as far as things. And probably we can do much the same way. As you said, your people can have like certain connections based on the real world factors. Our own people, we have certain people in similar positions. I myself am in the 32nd precinct in Manhattan. So if there's certain things that need a police touch or at least some police contacts and stuff like that, I am at least able to provide that. As it comes to other abilities, aside from my my knowledge and my particular skills of being a diplomat, he says with a smile there. There are individuals who have a degree of mystical arts that can provide, depending on their particular skill set, they can provide a number of wondrous effects.
This may be very good for those 50 infantry.
I would assume that the 50 infantry that we are providing would also have their own particular skills, but whether they're specialized or they're all uniform, I can't really speak for them. But I think I got a message. Yes. And my employer just did a follow up. If something to spread to others who may become in the know, if any of our kind decides to teach the secret knock, as it were, to get to our spaces, please decline.
What does he mean? So see, I don't understand.
Basically, it's so out of character to explain. He's like going, if any of the changelings try to teach the werewolves how to get into a freehold, tell them to have the werewolves decline. Tell the werewolves they declined that knowledge.
Okay, he will nod.
Okay. And if he needed clarification, I'll assume Charles reworded it in a way.
Yeah.
So, okay.
He nods. He will. Okay, that will be told.
Is there anything I should tell my people aside from what else you can offer us in return, or things that I should tell them when it comes to your people?
If they wish to have something, in the human side related, within reason, we can able to give it to those people. Another thing is that this is no joke. It is a dangerous thing to be in. So if people just wants to have fun, that is not a thing for them. Sadly.
No, it's a very serious matter, and this should be taken with the utmost seriousness. And I would expect that if it seems that someone is bordering on the lines of abuse of this responsibility, you let us know so we can handle it.
I will.
And likewise, we will do the same.
He nods. The This is good.
Hmm.
He nods that this is very good.
Who is the individual you have planned to meet up with my employer?
There are like two names I have in mind.
Mm.
Like two individuals I have in mind. I have not talked to them. I have not told them to do this yet. There needs to be a conversation with them. It may change anytime, but you will be informed who will arrive.
Mm. Very well. Um,
We
I'll
can
make
set a
sure.
dinner for them here as well.
I'm sure that would be most delightful. Probably best we don't, if it starts, especially if you say there are enemies watching, not to be stuck in a similar pattern.
Okay, that is quite correct.
Mm. Regardless, I will leave that to my I'll leave that to my employer to make the decision of where they'll be meeting. But I will pass the message along to you. Um, as for other things to let them know, hmm, I have I'll admit there have been certain moments where I've heard rumors of how to tell the signs if someone is one of your people or not, and there are a few people I have some suspicions on, but I
Mhm.
don't wish to I don't wish to breach anyone's privacy by putting myself forward and asking directly, "Hi, I have suspicions that you are this thing. Can we talk about it?"
It's for the best. As if they are normal humans, it may breach
Mm,
some kind of rules.
mm, of course, and but at the same time, I want to make sure that I don't accidentally step on anyone's toes, as it were, or there's that possibility that something might hmm, uh,
If there
slip
is a
up.
problem
Hmm.
between two individuals that is from our side and your side, if it's becoming a huge problem, we can always try to help as best as we can.
Hmm.
The And yeah, the I don't think that a lot of our kind wants problems.
No, nor ours. I think we have enough problems. Uh, I think we both mutually have enough problems in house as it is to add an extra factor.
Yes, I agree.
Mhm. And granted, we are going to be sharing a mutual issue here in the future. But I will reach out to certain individuals that I feel might be interested uh, in promoting an alliance,
Hmm.
and I will let you know the names of the individuals interested and what they at least what they are willing to tell me they are interested in putting forward.
Okay, that's quite nice.
Hmm.
The It was a very healthy conversation, in my opinion, at least what we had, and the I believe, hopefully, that we will be able to reach each other as soon as possible when the things happens. Like when the things develops.
Hmm. If I have other questions later down the road, as I'm assuming our line is secure for the most
Of
part.
course. Yes,
Okay.
it is.
I will still try to keep it as I'll keep it as discreet as possible, even in messages. But if anything else comes up, I will ask.
He nods.
Um, was there anything else you had for questions from me or concerns?
Actually, no. I believe this is going quite nice. Only thing is that as we have said, there's a problem, an army coming, and we will do what is necessary to stop that army. You will offer your side is offering us 50 infantry plus some individuals who may be willing to aid, and those if they want to wish to be in the fight, we will accept them
Mm.
to aid us. If you wish to be there in the not the it doesn't have to be front lines. There are too many places in the war. Backlines, healers. Um, this may be a long term. That might be going on for a while. We are not sure.
Mm.
The It is going to be in a very important. It's this army is attacking in a very important place that we seem to be hopefully will not lose. And that's there. Those are it.
I'm not much of a warrior myself. Actually, I wouldn't say I'm a warrior whatsoever. That's not something I would define myself as. I'm more of a conversationalist. But that doesn't mean I can't provide some form of aid in this endeavor. But I think I'll have to see who's willing to step up and where my employer wants me in this particular matter before I throw my hat in there.
He nods.
Um, and for me,
If you want,
no, go ahead.
oh, see, if you want, like they can say, like they continue having a conversation and
Yeah, yeah.
continue eating.
Yep. And then we can go from there. All right. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just pretty good. I think they just have at that point, it moves away from business and just general conversation. And, generally because Charles knows how to make a good conversation, it's probably a really good one. And they leave pretty happy at the end of
Exactly.
everything. So, and with that, I think that's where we'll end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night.